In this video, I'm going to show you everything that I've learned now that I've created a whole bunch of stealth accounts for eBay, and I'll show you all the mistakes that I made along the way. What's up everyone, Paul here from dropshippingtitans.com, where I teach regular people just like you how to start successful dropshipping businesses. This is part of a video series all about eBay stealth accounts and eBay suspensions. So if you're not familiar with what stealth accounts are, you should check out one of the videos I made recently all about what they are. But basically what they are accounts that are completely separate from your main eBay account. So that if your main eBay account gets suspended, this new stealth account will not get suspended. Now, I've made a whole bunch of these stealth accounts for different reasons, which we'll go into, and I want to show you everything that I've learned along the way by making a bunch of mistakes. So the very first stealth account that I had was actually one that I paid for. And what happened with that account was that it very quickly got suspended, and I was unable to get it reinstated. So the first mistake that I made here was that I just completely relied on someone else. And I used what was probably a little bit of a sketchy website. So there are legitimate websites or more legitimate websites out there to buy stealth accounts. If you're going to buy one, pay for a good one. Pay for a website that will actually give you follow-up support if your account gets suspended like it did for me. Because otherwise you're just wasting your money, which is exactly what happened to me in this case. So that was the first mistake that I made there. The second account that I made, I did on my own. And this account, I failed because it got linked up with my main eBay account. Now, that's not an issue because eBay allows you to have multiple accounts, but the point of this experiment was to try to run and create a stealth account. And I was unsuccessful with that. So that was a complete failure there. And the reason that was a failure was because I wasn't educated. I didn't know how to create a stealth account. I was just kind of guessing and figuring it out on my own. So between this one and the next one, number 3, I educated myself. And because I educated myself, my third account was a success. That one was a successful stealth account. It actually did get suspended right away, but I was able to get that suspension lifted. That's a pretty normal thing that happens to new eBay accounts. So that was fine. And I have proof that this really is a stealth account that's not linked up with my main eBay account. I showed that in a prior video in this video series. So that was a success. So what I learned here is that you really want to educate yourself, spend the time to do that, because look how much time I wasted and money doing all of this when I just could have educated myself. The other thing I learned here is that yes, you can buy accounts like I talked about before, but you should absolutely try it on your own first. I was able to do it, and I've now helped a bunch of other people do it as well. I don't think you need to pay for one right away unless you really are short on time, or you try to start one, you fail, and you keep failing over and over again until you kind of give up and then buy one. But I think most people, they should try it on their own first, maybe do some educating of yourself, try it a few times, because I see most people, their first 1 or 2 might fail, and then maybe by the third one, they get it to work. So that's the biggest thing that I learned there. After that, I've helped a few other people, like I said, and they've all done it successfully. And during this process of helping other people, I learned something. Because for my first stealth accounts, and for the first few people that I helped, the process was kind of annoying, kind of difficult. The mechanisms that we use to run our stealth accounts were really slow. What I used to recommend is that people use something called a VPS, which is basically a remote login, where you log into a remote server and run your eBay account inside that remote server. That definitely works, but we found it to be really slow and really annoying to use. As time went on, we refined this process and learned that there's a much easier way and faster way to run these stealth accounts and actually cheaper. For example, what we do now is on our computer, you can log into the main login on your computer, and you can add multiple users to your computer. So you just create a new user for your computer, and that is a lot easier than running something like a VPS. There are other steps involved, but that just shows you, for example, how much easier it is than something complicated like a VPS. So that's another thing that I learned, is that while a lot of the people out there who are teaching about how to use stealth accounts, or a lot of the courses out there about stealth accounts or trainings, they teach this really hard, complicated process. Sometimes that costs money, and it doesn't really have to be that hard. We learned that it's a lot more simple than it really looks and sounds. Now, even after all this, recently I tried to create another stealth account, and it failed. And that's because I made a dumb mistake, which is the next thing that I learned, is that it's really easy to make dumb mistakes if you're not careful. So this is what happened. I set up my stealth account completely perfectly. It was perfect. And then what I did was I was on Google Chrome. I went over to eBay to log in. I was doing everything right, but I couldn't remember the password for this eBay account. So I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I think I saved it inside my password manager. So I logged into my password manager on that browser. And then what the password manager did was on eBay.com, on the login screen, it automatically filled in the username with the username of my old eBay account. Then I went to log in. It wasn't successful because I didn't have the right password in there, but eBay saw that I tried to log into that account, and it then linked that old eBay account with this new stealth account, and it was done. The two were linked up, and that was it. So it's kind of crazy that even trying to log in to an old account, even if you're unsuccessful, can still link up your accounts. But that was just a dumb mistake. It was a dumb mistake to make, but that can ruin your entire stealth account if you're not careful. So don't make dumb mistakes. And the last thing that I really learned about stealth accounts is how important organization is. So I now have this stealth account. I've, after this one, created a successful one. I've helped other people with stealth accounts. So this is a bunch of different accounts here. Some old accounts, some accounts that are working, some accounts that I helped set up. I have to stay organized. And that's one of the other keys I learned, how to stay organized when you're running multiple stealth accounts like this. Now, for most people, this isn't going to be an issue, because if you're running a stealth account, you're only going to probably run one or two. But for me, it became an issue. So what I have is a Word document that has all the accounts listed on it with links. And when I click that link, it brings me over to another folder which has all the information about that account. The other thing is that on each account, on each login for my computer, when I go into that computer and open up Google Chrome, each of them has a different home page on Google Chrome that lets me know, hey, this is the account for John, this is the account for Susan, this is your own account. Make sure, and it tells me what the information is for that account. Just helps me stay much more organized there. But like I said, for most people, you're not gonna have to worry about that many accounts. Most of you guys are just gonna have one. But look guys, if you are interested in setting up your own stealth account, like I said, I really encourage you to try to do it on your own instead of paying several $100s for someone else to try to do it for you. So if you are interested, no pressure, but I have a training down below that you can sign up for. And the reason I created this training was because all the other training I found out there was showing you the hard way of doing it. The hard, complicated, and expensive way. So if you use the method I teach in my training, it will actually save you money. So I do think it's the best one that I've put together. It's the best one out there for stealth accounts. So I will have that linked up down below. If you need to start a stealth account, I think that's the best resource for you. Otherwise, guys, make sure to smash a like button if you got some value out of this video. And let me know in the comment section if you have any other questions about stealth accounts or account suspensions. We're getting to the end of this series, so if I didn't answer your question yet, let me know so I can answer it in the next video. And also underneath this video, I'll have links to the other videos in this series as well, or you can check them out by clicking one of these videos right here, and I'll see you there in a second.